Hello fellow Guardians, Old Man Sim here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're showcasing the absolute best Prismatic Warlock build, focusing on ability spam, unlimited heals, and a damage output so massive you'll be dominating any activity, whether in a group or solo. If you're looking to conquer anything in Destiny 2, this is the build for you. But first, while you're here, don't forget to click that thumbs up like, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to stay notified of more gaming content. I also stream 3 to 5 days a week on all major platforms. The links are on the screen now and in the description below. Now that the shameless plug is over with, let's get back to the video. First up, let's break down our subclass and abilities. We're using the Prismatic subclass with the Song of Flame Super, which offers a powerful solar damage output, ignitions, and crowd control. It is also one of the most powerful supers in the game. Fun fact, you can actually deal more damage and make the super last longer with only snaps, barring the damage phase if you're fighting a boss lasts that long. Here are the abilities that I've chosen for this build. The Healing Rift, which is essential for healing and survivability, but you can go to Phoenix Dive if you want a little bit of mobility. Strafe Glide, you can use any glide that you want that suits your playstyle. Arcane Needle, which is a powerful strand melee that can be thrown from a distance. You get 3, but with the exotic class item, you actually get 4. And lastly, the Storm Grenades. These grenades recharge almost instantly thanks to our exotic class item or high discipline and mods, allowing for continuous damage output. It's great for groups of enemies, and they also jolt targets, which thanks to our fragments, cause more chain damage and other benefits as well, which I'll explain later. And we'll be using the following aspects and fragments to help maximize our damage and survivability. For the aspects, it's going to be the Hellion, which gives us a solar buddy who outputs awesome damage and helps trigger more ignitions and explosions. And also Feed the Void, which allows us to get Devour on every ability kill, and we'll be killing plenty with abilities. And the timers refresh with any kind of kill period, so you'll constantly be getting heals. As for the Prismatic Fragments, we'll be using Facet of Balance, Facet of Bravery, Facet of Dawn, Facet of Blessing, and Facet of Dominance. These work really well with this build, but I'm sure you can tweak it some if you like, but these are the ones that I feel works best for this build. For our weapon loadout, we'll be using the Quicksilver Storm Exotic Auto Rifle. This auto rifle delivers consistent damage for many reasons. One of them is it occasionally fires a rocket due to its intrinsic trait Rocket Tracers, which allows for when you're landing multiple hits, your next shot turns into a micro rocket. You pair that with the intrinsic perk Grenade Chaser, which in landing multiple micro rockets will load a grenade, which up to 3, into your noob tube, which is the alternate fire for this weapon, giving you a 3-shot grenade launcher at your disposal. The key to this weapon though is in its catalyst, and it really sets this build off. The catalyst, Nano Entanglement, turns this weapon from kinetic to strand, and the grenade final blows cause tangles, which are going to be another source of damage for us, especially with the artifact mod, which we'll discuss later. While you still can use this in its kinetic form, you just need to change your surges around and possibly use Facet of Grace to speed up Transcendence. And up next for our second weapon, we're going to be using the Aberrant Action, which is a rocket assisted sidearm. It's the new solar one for episode 1. This one I made myself, and it's got heal clip and incandescent. It provides you awesome healing solo. If you're in a group, it heals everybody as well. And it gives you solar explosions on kills, and it just helps in feeding to that power fantasy of explosions and healing and kills and destruction. And it's really good. And if you've used the Call at all, which is the strand sidearm, you'll know what I'm talking about. But this thing having those explodies on top of everything else makes this thing awesome and a good complement to the Quicksilver Storm. And lastly, we're going to use the Apex Predator rocket launcher. This one has reconstruction and bait and switch, which gives us a bunch of rounds constantly loading into the rocket launcher and increase damage after we do our damage rotation. Now with these, you can change the weapons for whatever type of boss you're facing. Of course, you don't want to use a rocket launcher if you're facing a Tormentor, so you can feel free to change this as the bosses need. And another thing I will say as well is if you're going against a bunch of barrier champions, you can always switch out the Aberrant Actions with like an 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼 sniper rifle. The 𝕃𝕀𝕍𝔼 sniper rifle will break barrier shields with the artifact mod, and sniper rifles have gotten a lot more powerful with this episode. So that would be a good alternative to the Aberrant Action, or you can use like a trace rifle. You can't use the rocket launcher because you're facing that type of enemy. As for the armor, the exotic piece, we've already mentioned it a few times. We're going to be using the Solipsism, I probably butchered that, Exotic Warlock Bond. This one's going to have the Spirit of 𝕃𝕆𝕃𝕆𝕎 and the Spirit of the Claw. This combo is going to grant us 4 melee charges with the Claw and almost instantly recharge our grenade from the Spirit of 𝕃𝕆𝕃𝕆𝕎. But if for some reason you can't get this set up, because I do know that they're really hard to farm until they make it to where you can, you know, do the thing that they're doing with it. I forgot what they called it, but they're doing the things where you can specifically target a build. If you can't get this set up, I understand, then you should go for maybe Spirit of 𝕃𝕆𝕃𝕆𝕎 or Spirit of Star Eaters with the Spirit of the Claw. Spirit of the Claw just is really good because you get the 4th arcane needle, but then 𝕃𝕆𝕃𝕆𝕼 will help you get some abilities back, or Star Eaters will help make your super even more powerful than it already is. But like I said, I prefer 𝕃𝕆𝕃𝕆𝕼𝕃 and Claw, and that's what really makes this build set off, because those abilities are always up and they're always feeding into each other, making you this super powerful being. As for you stats, I always try to say 100 resilience, 100 discipline. Then anything you can get in recovery above 30, anything you can get in strength above 30. The strength above 30 will help you get your melees a little bit quicker, and then the recovery above 30 will just help you get your health a little bit better. And as for your armor mods, and as I always say with your armor mods, you might have to change these a little bit depending on how much energy you have available, depending on what stat you're trying to get for your build, but try to stick to these as close as possible. All right, as for the helmet mods, use a strand siphon, ashes to assets, and hands-on. Improve super energy coming back, and we get orbs from the strand siphon. All right, as for our gauntlets, we're going to be using impact induction, momentum transfer, and heavy-handed, which the first two are going to allow us to feed into the melee and the grenade. When one does one, the other one gets a little bit of energy to it. And then heavy-handed is going to allow us to get an orb of power. As for chest mods, for resistance, use any resistant mod that you want to, and also use charged up. If you use your artifact mod that we'll show here in just a minute, it'll only cost you 1 point to be able to do more resistance for yourself than usual. Up next, leg mods. Use elemental charge to generate armor charge from elemental pickups. This makes it more flexible to use other mods due to only costing 1 from an artifact mod, what I'll show you in a second. And you'll always have armor charge consistently creating elemental pickup. Use that with a double strand weapon surges to boost Quicksilver Storm. And last but certainly not least, for the class item mods, you're going to opt for distribution, which is going to give you ability on all of your skills. Time dilation, which is going to keep that armor charge from decaying, and powerful attraction, which is going to help you get those orbs every time you use your class ability. That brings us to the key artifact mods for this build. First, Unstoppable Sidearm, Overload Auto Rifle, Barrier Sniper. These will all to stop your champions, but you can change these as you need. Up next, Authorized Mod, Elemental Charge, and Authorized Mod, Charged Up, causing these mods to only cost 1 energy, which we showed their importance earlier. We have Threaded Blast, which makes blowing up tangles even more powerful. We have Sustained Fire, which gives you defense for sustained auto rifle fire. We have Radiant Orbs, which Orbs of Power make you radiant, which is a 25% damage boost. We have Galvanic Armor, which will give us more armor when amplified from our arc grenades. We have Solar Fulmination, which makes our ignitions bigger and more powerful. We have Targeting Autoloader, which reloads your auto rifle partially and gains damage from kills. More damage is gained if surrounded. And lastly, we have Shield Crush, which is going to allow for our grenades to come back quicker and do more damage, which synergizes perfectly with our exotic class item. Your basic gameplay loop, it's simple. Throw your storm grenades, use your arcane needles, build up transcendence, your super, use your abilities constantly, deal damage, control the battlefield. Time for boss damage, pop transcendence, unload all 4 arcane needles, followed by a prismatic grenade, shoot your Quicksilver Storm, shoot your aberrant action, finish off the apex predator, unload rockets, switch to your super, switch to your aberrant action, keep hitting that bait and switch over and over again rockets and just destroy. It's literally an ability spam and use your weapons when you need to. It is absolutely dominating. You could literally do this rotation in your sleep. It's not hard. It will carry you. And that is why this is the best Prismatic Warlock build. I hope this guide helps you become a powerhouse in Destiny 2. And if you have any questions or suggestions, drop them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell for more Destiny 2 content and more content in general. Click on one of the videos you see on screen right now for more fire content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Your boy Old Man Sim out. Peace.